The United Nations advisor on Libya has invited rival factions to come together to try to resolve the country's constitutional arrangements as a political process to restore stability has funded. Stephanie Williams has sent letters to Parliament and the High State Council, which represent separate administrations, to nominate 6 members for a joint committee. The move comes the day after Fathi Bashagha was sworn in as the new Prime Minister nominated by Parliament in the east of Libya, even though the incumbent Premier Abdulhamid Deba in Tripoli has refused to step down. A standoff between 2 rival governments worsened on Thursday with the risk of fighting or territorial division as the Parliament in the east swore in a new administration while the incumbent in Tripoli refused to cede power. Earlier on New Central's political program, The Conversation, Professor Mustafa Fattori, a Libyan academic and journalist, gave insight into developments in Libya.
What you have just said, if it happens, according to official documents and official positions, if we like, both of the Parliament and the UN, according to the UN roadmap plan, we should have elections by June. This is what the incumbent current government of Mr. Dbeibeh is saying. They are saying we will organize elections by June. According to the Parliament, who seems to be taking over the whole political process in the country, away even from the United Nations mediator who's on the ground in Libya, elections should take place something after 18 months. That's what they have said about a month ago. And according to this plan, that means there will be no election in 2022. Now, with the new government and Mr. Bashar coming in and hardly taking over, I don't know if it will, I'm quite sure that there will be no election in 2022. And we are lucky if we get the elections in the summer of 2023. It's quite difficult to predict, really, because the thing is, especially in the side of Mr. Dbeibeh, who is refusing to give up power and hand over to Mr. Bashar. The problem is he's backed by so many different militias inside the capital, Tripoli itself, and in his hometown, Misrata, which is also the hometown of Bashar. And the problem with those guys is that with those armed militias is they are not always behind the person they are support. Meaning they do not necessarily obey his orders. If they believe that they should fight, even if he says no, they will go on and fight for whatever reason. So it's a quite delicate balance. And from experience, from past experience, Mr. Bashar used to be the interim minister in Libya for about 3 years, term before now, the previous government, and he is supposed to have had built up some kind of a good relations with those armed militias inside the capital, and who would, well, many of them actually do respect him and obey his orders, but that will not be enough. So it's quite difficult to actually predict what really will happen. I think, in my belief, he will take over at some point, but it's very hard to say when.